Good morning. Today we have with us former Defence Secretary Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa. We have decided to have a discussion with him on some of the key issues that have come to surface in the past few weeks, actually following the presidential election on January 8th this year. The former Defence Secretary has been at the center of many topics ranging from the defence arena to national security, as well as to including media. So today we appreciate the fact that Mr. Rajapaksa has taken time out to sit with us and have a discussion on some of the key issues. So to start off, one of the main reasons that we see Mr. Rajapaksa being targeted with various allegations by various forces is the reason that he enjoyed a lot of power during the previous government, and the fact that there were allegations that the former Defence Secretary actually misused some of the powers that were vested with his brother. Now we would like to start off by asking Mr. Rajapaksa as to the role played by him in the previous government under his brother, the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
My role?
Yes.
No, actually, whatever I did within my powers, but I have done for the good faith, for the betterment of the country, where I have shown results. Whatever I have done, the responsibilities given to me, I have shown results. Now, during first term of his presidency, I was the Secretary of Defence, and my major responsibility and task was to eradicate terrorism, and I have done that. And during the second term, the additional responsibility of urban development was given to me, and it is very evident that I have done that very successfully. I have shown results. It's very important to know that not only eradicating terrorism, I was able to maintain that peace even after the war. A lot of people might think it's just happened, but it is not so. That we were able to maintain that stability and peace. Day by day we increased that stability by taking various measures to ensure that the LTT will not regroup and restart the terrorism. In this aspect, I should say, we did that with giving many freedoms to the people. Whatever people may say, they have to accept that we have given a lot of freedom, and we try to bring normalcy, especially to the north and east. I can tell you very shortly certain points that starting from 2009, the end of the war, we had many challenges. Now we had nearly 300,000 IDPs. Then we had nearly 12,000, close to 13,000 Serendees. Then we had nearly 4,000 to 5,000 detainees who were detained over the last so many years in detention camps. And they had the biggest challenge of demining, because before resettling, the biggest challenge was to demine the area, and also the development. Now we very successfully, everybody knows that we did it, we have completed it within very short period of 4 years or 5 years. We have completed all those tasks. But no one is recognizing these facts. Even 13,000 rehabilities, the serendies, we have never charged them. The president decided that we should rehabilitate them, reintegrate with the society. Very successfully, we did a very effective rehabilitation program and reintegrated with the society. Take the detainees. Now, these things are not discussed, even the international forums, and they talk against us, but they don't discuss the plus factors. Now, we had nearly 4,000 to 5,000 detainees detained by the army, by the services, by the police over the years, not only during this period, over the years. But see, today that number has reduced to nearly about 74, 75. All the rest of the people we have released, rehabilitated and reintegrated with the society. But no one speak about this achievement. Then I should say that I must mention that one of the biggest achievements was that no one speaks about it, disarming of the friendly groups. See that over the years, it's not under Mahinda Rajapaksa's government only. Now EPDP was with the supporting the government. They were given weapons, rightly, to protect themselves, right? Then Siddharthan's plot was given weapons, given for their protection. Then EPRLF, then Karuna group, various groups, TMVP, all these people had weapons. But after the end of terrorism, or defeating the LTT, the government decided to disarm them, which was not a very easy task, because they did not want to give up their weapons. Now we did that. Why? We wanted to bring real democracy into the area. We wanted to give real freedom to the people. Now we could have held elections without withdrawing the weapons. You think that these results would have come if we had done that? No. The results would have been... So this shows that genuinely we wanted to have very free and fair election. Genuinely we wanted to bring stability and peace into these areas. That is why we did that. We could have easily let these people carry weapons and continue then the chief minister would have been a different person. The results, even the presidential election results would have been different if that was the case. So the ironies, people and the international community, the critiques and all these people are not recognizing these factors and giving the due credit to the government. So we, whatever we did within my responsibility, I never used my powers beyond, whatever I had to do, my responsibilities. Whatever I did within my responsibilities, purely good faith, to do the correct thing and to bring results. And I have shown that to the people, I have shown that to the world. Look at the urban development, the changes I brought into the urban development arena. Look at Colombo. Everybody talks about it now. I know even the visitors were coming. Even the head of states were coming. And not only then, the world has recognized, because last year when the World City, the forum was held in Singapore, they invited me as a guest speaker to speak about the development of Colombo. Why? They recognized that the good things I have done, the change I have done in Colombo. and it is very visible. I mean, anybody who is genuine, who wants to see, even some folks that who walks on the walking paths, they criticize and walk. They use these facilities, but they criticize.
No, Colombo definitely. Colombo beautification program was a success story.
And also, mind you, a lot of people talk about the beautification.
Yes.
But the actual fact was the beautification was a byproduct. The major aim was not the beautification. There were, I have identified when whatever the responsibility given to me, when I was appointed as the Secretary of Defense, I did analysis. I met people, I met the military chiefs, I met the intelligence agencies, I met old, retired army officers, service officers, and analyzed the situation and identified the problem areas. And I was able to address and give definite answers to those problems. That is why we were able to, anybody can say anything, but see, even General Sarat Fonseca was in the military for 35 or to 38 years when I selected him as the commander of the army. He held many positions. Then General Samindra Silva, Kamal Gunaratna, Jagat Dias, Nandana Udavatta, all these people who were the divisional commanders were there. But all these debacles of Elephant Pass, debacle of Mulatiu, debacle of Wanni, debacle of Punareen, even the debacle of Jaffna, all these things happened when these officers were there. Why were not being able for them to even show 10% of what we have achieved during this period? Because they were not given proper leadership. More than that, they did not, the governments at that time did not address the core issues. So whether it was political, military, diplomatic, all these things we identified and we addressed those issues.
What were the core issues that you identified?
And see, if you take military, the biggest problem was the strength. No government identified this. I don't know whether they identified and did not want to answer, because I identified the biggest problem was the strength of the military. So I showed this to the president, and I am the only person, not any commanders. I identified this and I told the president, I have to triple the size of the military if we want to finish this war. And I was able to convince the president that we have to do that, irrespective of the biggest problems of the treasury. I mean, you have to spend a lot of money on this. But I showed him that unless you do that, we will not be able to finish this. The tactics used and all these things are not new. And we had good military, professional officers. Our skills of the soldiers are, you can't compare with the LTT. But they were not able, when you counter a terrorist organization especially, you have to have a large presence of military, because then only you can, all these things, attacking from different directions, attacking in a wider frontage, holding the ground that we were liberating, then having several counter-penetration lines. All these things need people, more people. So that anybody can argue and say various things, but the core issue is that. So we address that issue. There are other things, but this is the core issue. If we had not done that, I'm sure we are still, whatever the tactics we use, we are still fighting the war. For example, when we cleared the eastern province, I can remember Prabhakaran said this is only a tactical withdrawal, because he said the military has done that several times earlier, but we came back. But he never expected that we will never allow for him to come back. And we used many, even to release the army to fight. I used even the Navy, Air Force inside jungles to hold ground. So these are things that we change. Then look at diplomatically. I knew to continue this war, India is a factor. We had to keep India with us. Any other country can go against us, but they can't stop. This is very clearly shown this time. But we knew that if India goes against us, then it's very difficult to continue the war or the whatever. So, we put a mechanism, we devised a mechanism to keep India with us. Now, we never depended only on the traditional method of, through the foreign ministry. That is why we created this troika, where 3 people from Sri Lanka, that is myself, Mr. Lanit Veeratunga, and then Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was just an advisor. From India side, we had Mr. Narayan, who was the National Security Advisor, SrilankaMirror, who was the Foreign Minister, and V.K. Singh, who was the Secretary of Defense. Now, between us, we developed such a close cooperation, we were able to neutralize many sensitive issues. Now, because we discussed very frankly all the issues which are arising. And for example, at the very latter stages, if you can remember, Mr. Karunanidhi went on a hunger strike. He wanted for us to stop the war. So one evening at about 5 o'clock, Shankar called me and said, Gota, there's a very tense situation in India. We need to meet the president immediately and discuss this problem. So I said, okay, give me 5 minutes. I called back. Then I immediately called the president and said, they want to meet. He said, okay, ask them to come tomorrow morning. Then I called him back and said, we are ready. He is ready to meet you. Come. So they immediately left. Next day morning, they were here. And then we met the president. And in fact, President asked Mr. Narayana that I hope that you will not drop dal this time. In fact, that's how he started the conversation. And he said, what's the issue? He said, Mr. Karunanidhi is on a hunger strike. So we discussed the requirements, and ultimately we were able to issue a statement saying that we will continue without using heavy weapons. And Mr. Karunanidhi was happy. He stopped the hunger strike, and we continued with the war and were able to. So those are the direct results of this mechanism we had. Now, if we had not placed this mechanism, just imagine if we want a similar situation, Shankar would have contacted our High Commissioner in India. Our High Commissioner has to contact the Foreign Ministry in Sri Lanka. Foreign Ministry had to contact the President, and that message alone would have taken days.
But where did it go wrong? You obviously had a very close link with the Indian government, and there seems to have been a very strong link.
Now, till the end of the war, we had this very close link, and we were able to develop this understanding between the two countries. Unfortunately, after the war, Mr. Narayana went out of that position. He became governor, I think. Shankar was away. He retired and went out, and completely new characters came there. And so unfortunately this relationship, this method was broken after that with the dispersing of all these characters. Then when we restarted, actually it was not aggressive as this, because earlier, very regularly, we three visited India and met them and had discussions. They came to Sri Lanka regularly and met, discussed, and over and above, at any time, I was able to talk to Shankar over the phone. He was able to talk to me over the phone. So we developed this relationship, friendship, and the coordination. So these are the things actually. Then of course, the economy and the political side, the president attended to these things. So these are the factors. So likewise, in Colombo development, when the urban development was given to me, same way, I got engineers, the town planners, all these people, and we had discussions, and we identified what are the issues in Colombo, So then we identified like the flash floods in Colombo. Then identified the issue of shanties. Then we identified the issue of the condition of the pavements. These things are sometimes people think these are very minor things, but having proper pavement, it's a very important thing, because many people, the people who come to Colombo, only about 20% use vehicles. The others, 80% use public transport. They walk. They have to have proper places, to move from A to B. So we identified these things. Then, of course, the garbage problem. So not having a proper system to clean, sweep, or remove the garbage and dumping the garbage. So all these problems we identified, and we address these issues. So by doing that, automatically the beautification. And my idea was to create a people's friendly city. So whatever I did, I created developed parks, created open areas, developed the payments. All these things were done thinking from the people's side, how you could improve Colombo so that it's a friendly place for the people who are living in Colombo and people who are using Colombo. So this way we were able to, and also you must remember, whatever said and done, the Colombo is the capital of Sri Lanka. Anybody who is coming, whether it's a tourist, whether it's an investor, whether it's a state, the head of state, come to Colombo. So that's the first impression you give it to these people. Now, if an investor comes to Colombo and if he sees a dirty city, it's a unplanned city, that he will think twice to invest in Sri Lanka. So you have to give the first impression must be good. That's the idea. So we identify the issues and we address those issues. So this is where even now I am no longer there. And the people who are responsible just should not criticize and stop all these programs, identify, and if they think that they can do better, so act those things.
But did you by any chance, one of the criticisms leveled during this Colombo development project was the use of military force to remove people from these temporary shelters and shanties and all that, which created a bit of a conflict between a large number of people in the city as well as the government at the time, the kind of a friction. Did you assign such military power to be used
No,
at that time?
actually it's a wrong impression. It was the UDA who was responsible. They used whenever they were. But most of the time, majority of the people were willingly, given that areas for the development. For example, just take the Castle Street near the railway track. There were settlements, illegal settlements on the either side of the railway track. So we never remove these people without a place for them to go. First we build houses, then only we remove these people. Of course, when you do that, there are certain minority numbers who will lose certain benefits they had because of these settlements. So they will of course protest or object to these things. Then, unfortunately, whether it's there are the system of our politics is the opposition always, irrespective whether it is good or bad, they oppose it. No, so you have to face those things, and those are challenges that you have to face, and to achieve. If you want to achieve the results, then you have to do the correct thing. What I did was the correct thing. So now if you say, if you listen to these minorities and if you just stop the project, then you can't remove these shanties. No. But majority of the people wanted to move into a better house, better environment, and that's what I did. But most of the time, it was the UDA. Most of the time, they were willingly, the people gave their consent willingly. In few cases, there were people who were resisting this movement. Where on these cases only the police were used, very few cases. Why this? They tell that military was used because I used some military officers in given the responsibilities of I attached some of the military officers to the UDA. So when they go, the people say, okay, the military was used. Actually, it was not the military, it was the military officers who were attached to do certain jobs to the UDA. People were attached to the UDA. That, why I did that, I thought, I should use the commitment, dedication, discipline, and the skills of these military officers in urban development as well. They had their responsibility in countering the terrorism, and they did it successfully. So after that, I thought, when I was given this responsibility, should use some of these officers in urban development. So I attached them into various, departments, the UDA, then low line and reclamation department. All these people, I attached officers into these to help the officials of those departments. So when they go, they refer as military is being used for, but I never used armed troops to go and remove these people from these places.
Did you feel at any time that people feared you?
That's not, that is because of the wrong impression created. Because as the Secretary Defense, I had a lot of, I had the threat from the LTT, so I was not being able to go freely, move with the people, and also I'm not a politician. So my career was with the military. So, and after that, I became the Defense Secretary, and I have never done politics. So it's not my way that you go and move with the people, and so that people judge me from what was appeared in the media, and so media unfortunately projected me as a very man, that I don't know how should I say, so that people thought it's a very difficult person to talk to and approach me, but it was not so. But that's the impression or the image created by, especially from the media.
Now, speaking of media, your name has figured there as well, prominently, and including a former minister, Mervyn Silva, has also gone to the CID, bringing your name out, saying that you were involved in several prominent murders as well, including that of former Sunday lead editor Lasantha Wickramatunge as well. How do you respond to this allegation made by Minister Silva?
Those are very baseless allegations. It's very unfair for a person like that, especially a politician, ex-minister, to do that irresponsible allegations. I'm sure he's doing to cover himself. Everybody knows in this country who is Mervyn Silva. And unfortunately, our government did not take proper action against Mervyn Silva at that time. I think because of that, I should say, President lost nearly 200,000 votes. I can say easily, President. But I did many things to control him, in many occasions. Once I can remember Minister Rajit Senara, as the fisheries minister, he opened the new fish market in Paligo. He came to and said, I can't do this because Mervyn Silva's thugs, they are taking extorting money from these shops. So I have to stop this, please give me STF. So in fact I used STF for about 6 months there to prevent this. Then I arrested many of his people working with him who were taking all these ransoms and all those things. Arrested them. So I did a lot of things to control, but unfortunately higher level I should have taken action to take against now. See, so then, but Mervyn Silva is I don't think I never take him seriously, whatever he says. I don't think the people of this country will take him seriously.
But why were there many incidents regarding media personnel during the previous regime? Because that is something that even the international community has been harping on, bringing out statistics and saying X number of
I should say I can't directly divulge names in this.
Yes.
But unfortunately, people with various people at various times for various reasons did these things. But all these things ultimately came on me.
Yes. Why wasn't there any proper investigation into these incidents? Wouldn't that have helped?
No, we had many investigations. In fact, we started these many investigations. But as you know, in certain, when they do these acts, the people who are responsible also take a lot of precautions that you can't you know, at the end you go and stop at the place, the CID
At a dead
end. But now, what I say is, now say they put the blame on me, no?
Yes.
But now here's the opportunity to do a genuine, they can reopen these investigations files and see where it stopped, and to see whether you can proceed beyond that. You know, that's very fair.
Yes.
I have done investigations. I have with the CID on all these issues. I have used CID, used SIS, even some cases I think even the military intelligence, to go into these cases and find out the details. But now they have these files, what they can do is reopen and try whether we can go beyond that and make any progress. So I'm not afraid, and I want, if they can, to restart this, but it must be not a witch hunt, but genuine. Now, like in other cases, now you have that Vidayaka Sabha,
National Executive Council.
Now they go for witch hunt, or they name, okay, punish Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and then the people has to find how to punish him. So even when they say that we can't, there is no way that we can't, no, you must find some method to punish him.
Yes.
So that is the Yahapalan. So you have that.
Now, during your tenure as the Defence Secretary, you were very, you played a key role in actually apprehending a lot of people involved in the drug racket in Colombo, in the city. And on the other hand, there were accusations that UPF MP Duminda Silva was involved in it, and that he was not being questioned because he received your patronage and that you were protected.
No, that's actually wrong. Now, Duminda Silva, I associated as a Colombo MP, not anything beyond that. And that association also started because of the urban development issue. Because he is from Colombo, and he represents areas where especially where the people need these houses, shanties and all that. That is the main reason. Otherwise, I didn't have any friendship, or I didn't know him previously. And but in at any time, I didn't get this information from anybody, or from the CID, or people who are to investigate this thing, that MP Duminda Silva is involved in these things.
Was he also not a monitoring MP of the Defence and Urban Development?
No, not Defence. He was monitoring MP of Urban Development. But he didn't have the opportunity to come and do that. Because immediately I think he got involved in this case. He was never there. Not the Defence. Defence was not given to anybody.
Okay.
So the issue is, I tried my best to prevent this, control this drug menace. Not only the police, even the military intelligence were used to give the information and feed the relevant authorities about this, and we were able to get a lot of information on this. But in any case, any of these instances, no one told me that so and so is involved in this.
And after all that, after the period of governing, comes the presidential election this year in January, and now that's an alleged coup plot that is also being discussed, and CID recorded several statements from prominent members of the former government. How you were also named in that alleged coup plot. How did you see this situation? Was there a discussion, and what actually took place that night at Temple Trees?
No, it was very clear. I think it was investigated. A lot of people were questioned, and you know, it's again baseless. It's very clear. You can't do coups like that. You know, it was never all these things. Even when I was there, it was an open place where anybody, you know, who were there, they were getting all these results. The place, it was not in a closed door conference room or in the open. There were a lot of people were there, and there a lot of people come and go in this place. Then, so you can't do coups like that, no. And if anybody, you know, has any idea of military coups, you can't do a military coup within 5 minutes, you know, like that. So it's I think it is purely to tarnish the image of the president, who even left the temple trees even before the final results came out. So I think the people appreciated that, gave credit to him. I think purely to tarnish that image that they brought this coup.
What was the discussion between Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the president that before the president left temple trees?
Yeah, first thing, he was contacted when the president knew that His Majesty Parliament is going to win. So he said, please tell Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe to come, because he's the opposition leader, no? For to, you know, arrange the transition of this power. And I think by even 4:45 or so he was there, and mainly discussed. He said, you know, it's clear now, the parliament is winning, so I'm prepared to go and arrange the transition. And of course, then Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he had discussed with the Mr. Maithripala Sirisena about security of the president and myself, and he assured that the security will be looked after, and he said till they finalize what numbers and what vehicles and all that, for us to keep the security what we had. And of course he took action with the president later to decide on the numbers and the security. So that's all actually. And after that, President Mahinda Rajapaksa left temple trees. And also why IG, why the service commanders and Attorney General, especially if you are doing a coup, you don't take advice from Attorney General. So in fact, that
the former Chief Justice.
Yes, that was because there were information that, you know, the opposition, certain elements of the opposition are going to create problems, you know, issues, whether President Rajapaksa wins or whether he loses, or that, you know, various interpretations were there within them, and this was brought out by the intelligence agencies the previous day to the president. So this, you know, therefore I think he wanted to have a very peaceful transition, and that is why not only this time, even the last previous elections we had these arrangements, and we ensured that there was no breach of security after the, you know, the post-election, especially the post-election violence.
So saying that even
2010,
yes,
we had this
a similar discussion at the temple.
Similar deployment,
Okay.
actually. This is to ensure the peace and security. And then, because of this, the President wanted to know whether there is the necessity of imposing curfew and whether it is possible to enforce curfew. So that's why he checked with IG whether he needs. In fact, IG wanted to have curfew, but then he asked the Attorney General whether it is possible to have. So Attorney General, I think, advised the other, not to have that. Then he said, okay, then you discuss with the new administration and do whatever. And then he decided to leave. So this is what actually happened there. And it was, I think, some section of the community who probably might have not expected Mahinda Rajapaksa to leave immediately, even before the election results were announced, to leave Temple Trees and hand over the government to this mighty party.
And now after the elections, the current government that has come into power promising good governance has commenced various investigations into alleged corruption and alleged irregularities committed during the previous government. And once again, your name figures there as well, especially with regard to military procurements and especially with regard to the floating armory issue, which has now become a main talking point even in society. Now, with regard to this floating armory as well as these military procurements, there was also a case that there are various bank accounts in the Defence Ministry that have allegedly been under the former Defence Secretary, which is you. What is the real situation with regard to these allegations?
Well, you see, this is where I think the government has gone wrong again. I can vouch that my, the ministry and whatever the responsibilities I had, I did it with very transparent way, honest way. I have never earned money out of during this period, because it's good that they check my account. But the unfortunate thing is, again, when you have that order, a lot of big letters, it appears in all the media, but when it comes to the results, the findings, doesn't come the same way to the public. So to tell you the facts, that I have only one account in this country or in the world. I have only one bank account. I had a bank account in the US, but I closed down the bank account. I have only one account. It's a very credible in the Bank of Ceylon. It was there for nearly 30 years. I think when I was a captain that I opened that account. That was the account I was using. And I can say without any hesitation that for the last 9 years, only my pay and pension had gone into that account. So they can check that account. And the other thing, as government officials, we have to declare our assets. So I have done that regularly. And what is more important is, I think, check my statement when I took over this in 2006, I think, 2005. Yes. 2006, the first declaration, and we have to give the declaration. It is there with the, we have to give it to the Treasury, to the President Secretary. So it is there in the seal and law. So they can check that and then check my present assets, that is bank accounts or with the property. They can check that and publish that to the people, and then everybody will be very clear. Because I can say I have never acquired any land, I have never acquired any houses, I have no other bank accounts, I have no shares, or I have no money with any other person.
No secret accounts. No secret account.
No secret accounts. I have not invested in other people. Don't insult others, businessmen, because it's very unfair. After all, what is the use? Say, some people say, okay, so and so has invested Gotabaya's money. So what's the use? Why should I, if I have earned, why should somebody enjoy benefits of my money? If I'm not enjoying that money, why should I earn money? I have never not earned any money. I have not got any property. Or when I say I, that includes my family. So it's I'm very genuine, very clean. I should say I'm one of the cleanest people in Sri Lanka, or maybe in the world, because I know my heart.
So basically you would challenge any authority?
I challenge anybody on this issue. I challenge anybody on this issue. So without just baseless, allegations and mudslinging, because it's one day they will repent on, even at their death, they will repent. I have done that mistake, because I'm a person, very clean person. That I was very transparent in my work, and I've not taken any bribes or any commissions from anything. So that's all I can tell.
Would you have any idea? What do you think? Why are you being targeted specifically?
No, probably, they think that it's the best way to tarnish the name of Rajapaksas, Mahinda Rajapaksa. That, that people, I know a lot of people tell me that, they have very good opinion on me. So I think they want to tarnish that.
But now they have, the court has issued an order to arrest the brother, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa, upon arrival in the country. And there's also now Yoshita Rajapaksa, who's a Navy officer, who's also under probe. Now, how do you feel that, as a Rajapaksa, that there is a planned move against the family?
It's very clear to the people, and they're targeting, the Rajapaksa family. But I think it's basically, I don't know, if somebody has done something wrong, that I'm not saying that that person should be punished, but willfully, just for the sake of mudslinging and tarnishing the name, they should not do that, because Mahinda Rajapaksa and myself has done a lot to this country. We had done that genuinely, no one could say that we are not responsible for ending the 30-year-long war that we had in Sri Lanka. It's purely because of the leadership given by the President and myself was able to do that. And we were dedicated and committed for that cause, and we achieved that. And also when you take the development, the amount of work we had done, whether it is in urban development or whether in other areas in highways, and if you go through all the factors of the economic development and all that, it's very clear now that we had done so much to this country. There must have been errors. I am not saying that 100% very clear in that there must have been people who had done wrong things. But you must not forget such a vast amount of good things that done to this country. And it is very unfair to unnecessarily target us and do all these necessary investigations, where, you know, now they say there are procedural errors. How can you, somebody says procedure when there was no procedure at all in this? This was a new thing, completely new thing. So, but I have given directions within my, within my powers. That those powers were given from various acts. So within that I have acted, and also with good faith. That's the most important thing. Not to earn money for myself, but with good intentions I have done all these things.
Finally, do you have plans on entering politics?
Everybody asks me this question. See, I was telling thee that because of all these things, now it's willingly or unwillingly, certain people are pushing me to politics. These people who do all these allegations and investigations.
So would it be correct to say you are considering?
Yes, of course.
Any particular party that you're looking at, or any particular avenue of entering politics?
No, first that's the main issue. I have to find out a party to enter politics. And thing is, when I was given this responsibility, I worked genuinely for the country, and I have done that, and I have produced results. That's the most important thing. I'm just not saying these things. I have done that, and the people see that. The results are very eminent and visible, and can see those things. So my main aim was to serve the people, serve the country. So I thought that as a Secretary Defence and whatever the responsibility, as a government official, I was happy to do that, and I did that. So I'm no longer in that position. If I have another opportunity to serve the country, I will do that.
Even if it is through politics?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Rajapaksa, for your time.